Oh, that looks sick. His style is really awesome.
What the hell is it?
In this video, I'm going to try and recreate some of the coolest visual effects that I have seen on my feed to see if I can learn something. If I learn something, maybe you learn something. So with that being said, let's begin. All right, so the first one that I'm going to try and recreate, I actually got tagged in a lot, and that's this effect here. Wait for it. Oh, how cool is that? It's like a glow coming out from the light on the floor. Obviously, it works best in this clip because he has these glowing lights. Lucky for me, I have the footage from Sutra Edits. You can check him out right here. He makes insane car clips, and he has kindly sent people in the District JP Discord access to this Lamborghini. Because I have the exact shot, I can actually use it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, I have zero idea how he did it, by the way. I'll just try and figure it out myself. So the first thing that we can see from his effect is we have a glow, but as well as that, we have these little particles, which are really cool. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is do the glow. Take the clip, I will duplicate it, and I'm going to mask out this streak of light. So then what I'm gonna do is just click the stopwatch, move a few frames, take this, move it there. I teach some really good masking methods in my masking and rotoscoping masterclass, and this is like the most basic one. If I turn off the bottom layer, you can see I'm gonna add an effect called optical glow from Red Giant VFX. I've talked about Red Giant VFX before. They have amazing effects, worth the money if you're doing a lot of VFX stuff. If not, then you have to sell your house or something. So I'm gonna throw that in there, change the alpha channel to extend, and this effect has an amazing property called radiate. If I crank it up to the max, you can see the glow goes in a singular direction. And if I change where the center is gonna be, so I flip it so it goes up and to the side, we're kind of getting there. Now, if I just press play, the effect is pretty much almost there. So this is before and this is after. And if we look at the effect, he does a similar way. Like obviously his color is like yellow, so I can colorize it to be slightly yellow. And obviously he must have color graded footage underneath. So I'm gonna do a random pre-grade like this. Just gonna fix the colors a bit. And you can see if I press play, I'll let this load a bit actually. Let it load, let it load. Oh, copyright. That's right, if you're a video creator who wants to make these sweet edits for clients or on YouTube without getting copyright strikes, you should check out Epidemic Sound. With their library of 40,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, you have a library of chart-sounding, head-pounding music for all your creative needs. I've been using them to run my agency for the last few years using their commercial plan, and I've had clients ask me if the music is royalty-free as it sounds that good. No more cheesy, copyright-free music. And their personal plan is great for content creators as it covers all the most used platforms. But the best part is that I partnered with them to give you an exclusive 1-month free trial using my link below. Thank me later. I mean, it looks pretty good. You know, it's getting there. Obviously, the edges are a bit rough and you can fix that by having a better mask. But now the most interesting part is the particles. Now, you can probably find some particles online or you can make your own ones. So I'm gonna right click new solid, change the whatever color, doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna search CC particle world. The grid and lines, we can just turn the grid off. You can turn all these lines off, don't need that. And what you can see is that if I press play, you get this disgusting particle.
What the hell is even?
So let's actually change the particles. Particles, particle type. Let's make them faded spheres. Let's change the colors to white and maybe a little bit of yellow to kind of match. And the particles are looking a little bit similar. If I press play, they're just kind of falling. So we want them to kind of go up. So if I go to the physics, so gravity, I'm gonna make it minus 0.5, which should mean that it's gonna go up. Goes up very fast. Velocity, let's make this 0.1, so a tenth of the velocity. The animation, let's do maybe directional axis. The issue we have though is that the particles are very close together. So what I'm gonna do is in the producer, I'm gonna change the radius X, I'm gonna increase it. Radius Y, we can increase it a bit. Radius Z, if we increase it, you know, we get a lot of depth, which is pretty cool. We just do it a little bit. If I press play, okay, we're starting together, The problem is that they start at 0 and then they kind of go up and it's still going very fast. I want to make the velocity 0.01. I want it to go real slow. So if I add the resistance, you go from this kind of animation to this kind of animation. His are much smaller, so we can drop the birth rate to 0.1. So there's less. We're kind of getting there. Main issue that I have is that the particles are kind of staying in the same space. We want them to come out of this glow. So what I have to do is track them to the glow. There's many ways you can do this. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go to tracker, track motion. Let's track this edge right here. And I'm going to track forward, get some caffeine. Colombian coffee. Okay, now that we have our tracking point, let's make a new null object. Click back on our layer, click edit target, click null, okay, click apply X and Y, and now you can see that null object is being tracked. Take our particles, which is this black solid, just call it particles, and we're gonna take this pick whip and just click it onto that, and now you're gonna see that our particles are also moving with the camera, so they're moving to the side a little bit. However, the last thing that we're gonna do is make it look like they're coming out only from this thing here. I'm gonna take these two, right click, pre-compose, move all attributes, take the pen tool, and I'm going to just mask out from underneath this. Gonna invert it. Then I'm gonna click the stopwatch, move to the end, change this, and you will see that the particles only come out of the glow. You can see if we press play, there we go. It's nowhere near as nice as his, and his rays look a little bit nicer, don't they? He's got more of a rays going on. So I think he probably uses the S rays glow from Sapphire. I change the center threshold, make it yellow. Okay, this is more like what he would do. Add an S glow such that this bit here is actually bright. Those rays look much nicer than my simple glow. There you go, that's probably how we did it. And this is how mine turned out, and that's what the original one looks like. The next thing I want to do is from this edit here, but the effect I want to do is this really cool line here that you see came up, and I don't think it's that difficult, so let's just get it done. Okay, now for this effect, I'm 100% sure that he used trap code particular for it. I recognize the streaks. However, I know some of you can't afford that, and I don't want you guys to get a visit from... So what we're gonna do instead is use Saber, which is a free plugin, and we're gonna get something close to this, not exact, but it'll be close. Also, it's much easier than trap code particular because it does take a like you have to play with lights and strokes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I have trap code particular, but it's expensive, dog. We're gonna be using this shot again from Sutra Edit. Shout out to my man. And we're gonna firstly track the camera by right click, track stabilize, track camera. And once we do, we need to select a few points. Now I'm gonna select points on the car because we want the streak to kind of happen around the car. So I'm going to select a few points around here in the car. I'm going to do right click, create solid and camera. And as you can see, we have a new solid made right there. Make this solid big because this solid is going to be where our streak line is going to happen. If you can imagine, we're going to draw a streak line here and it's going to come out. So what we're going to do is actually right click on the track solid. We're going to pre-compose and leave all attributes and call this streak. And now what we're going to do is going to go into the streak and click the track solid, and now we're going to draw our line. I'm going to kind of come here like this, like that, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can then search Saber, drag that on top, and when you go to customize core, change this to layer masks, and you see now we have our outline. Now I'm going to change the render settings to transparent, and now if we go back to our composition, you can see we have our line, and it's perfectly tracked with our car shot. Beautiful. Now you can move this and make this bigger down here. You don't want to move it too much because it will mess up the tracking. So as long as you're changing just the scale here and not moving it left, right, it'll be okay. You want to check how it looks at the beginning and how it's going to look at the end. And just note that we're going to actually make the light come from the center and out. So I'm going to change the preset to, I don't know, I'm going to just find something that I think is cool.
3 days later.
So I'm gonna go into streak, and I want the animation to start from around here and kind of come out. So the way we do that is we go to customize core, and you see where it says end offset. If I drag this down, you can see from the right, it kind of comes in. Now it will depend on your streak pattern, so just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna just bring this back to, say, around 60%. I'm gonna click the stopwatch. I'm gonna click track solid and press U such that we have the first stop clock there. Then I'm gonna go to start offset, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just drag back until it kind of hits this point here where there's nothing. And I'm gonna click the stopwatch here. I'm gonna click on track solid and press U. So now we see both properties. I'm gonna move forward, and now I'm just gonna right click on this one, reset it, right click on this one and reset it. And you can see now we have this kind of animation happening. And if you go to our main comp, you can see that the animation is starting to form, and it looks really cool because it's being tracked to the car. We're getting closer to the subject. It looks like it's coming closer. But the one thing you want to do to make sure that you know it looks good is you want to duplicate your car clip, move it to the top, and you want to rotoscope the car. I kind of gave up with rotor brush and just started using Mocha instead. So as you can see with the mask, the effect starts to look way better. Now, because I like to go that extra little step, I'm gonna add a little glow where the light streaks are going. Right click, new adjustment layer, add a tint, and the tint is gonna be green. As the light comes to here, I'm gonna do a small mask like this of the light. I'm gonna add a little bit of feather. Then I'm gonna keyframe mask path. Right before it, I'm gonna keyframe the opacity so that it goes from 0 to 100. And as it goes here forward, I'm gonna just select this and I'm just going to change the mask path so it kind of goes from here to here. Then I'm gonna keep basically tracking it and making it bigger. Now realistically there should be a reflection, which if you wanted to you could do, but so it's not too obvious. It should be quite subtle. That does look sick. Look at that. Now it adds more depth to the shot. I know it's not the exact one with Trap Code Particular, but it's a nice free way to do it. And if you guys do try this effect, make sure to send it to my Discord for a chance to be featured in one of my React series. So the one from this video here is actually this kind of triangular split that he does, which is so cool. I don't think it's very difficult to do. It's just a simple mask with keyframes, but his style is really awesome because he does that a lot in his videos. So let's make it happen. Like if I was to just break it down how I think it is, he uses pixel sorter for this kind of vertical line effect. This is a find edges effect with some glow. This is just a simple mask. Then he matches the glow with the music. So let's get started. All right, let's use this clip, duplicate it with Control D, and I'm going to freeze the first frame. So time, freeze frame. I want the time to go and I don't want any movement to happen. Let's go forward a little bit and I'm gonna cut it with Alt right bracket. And I'm gonna move the rest of the clip. So steady, 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 and it's gonna start moving. Isolate the Lambo, so I'm gonna just quickly duplicate it, name it Lambo only, turn off the bottom layer. I'm gonna just do a quick mask with the pen tool. And the first effect that we see is the Lambo by itself in its really cool green effect. The way we do that is by adding the effect find edges. We're gonna invert it so it looks like this. Now we're gonna add a glow. I'm gonna add a optical glow from Red Giant, colorize this to green, and that's pretty much how that effect looks. The only difference now is that it starts with pixel sorter. So there's two pixel sorters. There's pixel sorter 2 that you can get, and there's also a glitchify. You can always buy them or just buy them. Oh no, he's definitely using Glitchify. This pattern is from Glitchify. You have to add Glitchify right at the top above find edges and optical glow. Then what you will do is you will go to image glitch, turn it off, color glitch, turn it off, advanced, go to channel scale and check fill gaps. Luma, for example, click vertical, speed multiplier, make it 0. And if you increase the offset, you can see it starts to melt basically. And then what you will do is you will say you will have it to like this point here. You then go to Glitchify amount, you press the clock, press U on your keyboard, move forward a few frames and make the value 0. You get the pulse of it kind of going from the glitch state to the non-glitch state. And if you time it with the music, it can look really cool. But the really cool thing that I wanted to really show, that really cool looking kind of background effect, where it's basically the same effects as before. So we can take the one that we copied and let's call this mask. We can copy over the find edges and the glow, go to the mask layer, and you can just get the pen tool and you can go to like one edge, go up to like here, down and back to it. Now what you can do is you can actually drag it so it only appears after a bit, so you see it can come. But what he does is he adds the glitchify effect to this. He might pre-compose it first but have the glow and the edges effect on top like this, but this here he adds the glitchify effect and he goes from max to 0. You can see the effect happens inside the glitch. If I go frame by frame, it happens inside it. It looks pretty cool. Actually, one detail that I noticed is that his triangle is slightly smaller than the car. You can see the outline of the car. So I'm gonna just go to my mask. I'm gonna resize it. It's still visible. This stuff is so creative. I love it. You can just duplicate it, move it forward, but then you just change the mask. So I'm gonna delete this mask here and I'll do another mask, move that forward. And the reason that I'm dragging it forward is so I get that really cool glitched effect at the beginning. This one here with like the frames, and then I'll do another mask. So it's gonna go bang, 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 bang. So now that we have our cool looking shapes, the pulsing that he does, where the car kind of pulsates like this, you can do a flicker. Boris effects as a flicker and it will flicker like this. But if you want to time it to the music, you can literally just do it with the glow. You can keyframe the amount, press U twice to see it, go up a few frames, have it go up a little bit, and then you can take this original one, Control C, Control V, and now you can see it pulses. And you can time it with the music, and I'm sure it's gonna look so sick. If you're up for a challenge, create something like this and drop it on my Discord for me to react to in my next reacts. But let me know what you guys think about this series. I'm thinking of doing more of these with crazier and crazier VFX videos that I see. You can see in these effects, masking and rotoscoping is a very important skill that you need to learn, which is why I actually made my own detailed deep dive course on masking and rotoscoping, which you can also check down in the description down below. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.